Yeah, that's exactly what I intended to do.
3, 2, 1.
Time to work, soldiers.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tracy once again. Welcome to another Ghost commentary. First things first, I'm very sorry this wasn't posted till Wednesday. I've been quite busy since my sister's pregnant. She had to take her dogs to the vet, and you know, my girlfriend's generally has Monday off, which means that she got Tuesday off as well for a day out. So I've been spending a fair bit of time with her, so I just haven't had time. As you guys have probably seen, like didn't even reply to my Road to Commander comments until a couple of minutes ago. But yeah, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. This is 30 for 9 using the SC 2010 with Silencer and Red Dot, I believe. Yeah, Silencer and Red Dot, that's it. I believe this map's called Whiteout. You've probably seen it a million times if you don't really care. Yeah, but that's about it. I've been quite busy just, you know, doing other things other than COD. You probably noticed I haven't been on my Razer account in ages. I've just been Road to Commander, and that's it. That's the only COD I've been playing. I've been playing The Forest, other things, if I do get some time to play. If not, you know, I've just been watching movies, just, you know, changing my lifestyle a little bit, really. Just because, you know, COD's getting a bit boring. I have been watching a fair bit from E3, and I saw the new Call of Duty and that, and the new Battlefield. I'm actually pretty keen for that. Probably more excited for those games than I would generally be for, like, seeing if it was another Battlefield 5 or, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 5 or whatever. I think they're up to, no, 4. I think they're up to Modern Warfare 4 if they were going to do another Modern Warfare. So I'm actually a little bit more excited for that than I generally would be. So, yeah, but on to my topic today, which is just stories from school. So you know how I talked about my best friend and I was talking about, you know, some stories from high school and shit like that. Well, now I thought of some more stories. I've written them down. That's not even a word. I wrote them down. Try to speak English, you fucktard. If you guys are ever wondering, the word is actually wrote, not writ. Never use the word writ. You sound like a bogan fucked like I just did then. So the first one I wanted to address on was one David actually reminded me of, which was when we went to Queensland. We got back from a trip, I think we were at Movie World, got back from a trip, and quite literally someone had taken a shit in my toilet. It was not me, and it was none of the guys, because they swore in the corner, you know, I pretty much threatened their lives to tell me if they did it or not, you know. I was like, come on guys, you know, tell me if it was a joke or not, I'd understand, but like, they were all like, no, we didn't shit in it. So we put it down to actually the only other person that would have been in the room was the cleaners. The room had been cleaned that day. Put it down to the cleaners, actually took a shit in my toilet and did not fucking flush. Which, you know, is probably understandable for some of the stupid shit we did. We probably deserved that. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that one out of the way. Rightio, so in grade 8, we went on this camp that was, it's just random camp out in the middle of Whoop Whoop, somewhere down near Hobart, which is the capital of Tassie, somewhere down near there. Yeah, went down there, and it was held by all these religious volunteers and shit like that. So you know that sort of camp. Hopefully, if that's what your school camps were like. Most of our school camps went to a camp where some religious people volunteered to look after the camp. So yeah, that was it. So we went down there, and we each asked for a room with our friends, but we got put with the other troublemakers as well. So it was a room of about 8 or 9 guys, and we were all the troublemakers. So there's about 9 guys in this room, and none of us slept the first night because we were too afraid of what the other guys would do if we fell asleep. Like, one guy did try to fall asleep, and we kept waking him up. I think a couple of guys threw a tennis ball at him, shit like that, just to keep him awake. So the first night, none of us slept. None of us got any sleep, and, you know, because we were too afraid of what each was going to do to each other, you know, like shit like that. So that was the first night, was just no sleep at all. So the next day we had to go to this well, half the group went to this lecture about energy because they must have sponsored the trip or something, so we had to go do that part, and they paid for part of our trip. So we had to do this at the Tasmanian Energy Centre or something like that it was called, and David and I actually fell asleep in the chairs. So after the lecture thing was over, and you got to go, you know, play with all the little energy machines they had and the little tasks and shit they did, which they hosted school groups for all the time. This is full-on retardation right there. But yeah, so after all that happened, we were left in that room asleep. And we were asleep for a good 5 or so minutes, before my head fell down and I woke myself up. And then I woke David up and we got out of that room. And we didn't actually get in trouble for that. Like, all the teachers left us and shit. But, like, we fell asleep in that fucking room. Which is... So, yeah, we're massive fucking idiots like that. Also, at the next night at that camp, there was a bloke, he managed to fall asleep. So we rubbed toothpaste all over the back of his track pants that he had on. And it just looked fucking nasty, and like through the night he was scratching his butt and shit like that, and you know, moving and moved it everywhere, so the whole entire ass of his track pants were just fucking dead white toothpaste, and that was pretty funny. And the same day we went to that energy place, we also went to the chocolate factory. So, you know, we had the chocolate factory, all that shit, we did the tour, but the other guys who were the other fuck-arounds, the misfits, shit like that, they didn't go, so we ended up having to lock our chocolate in my bag that I brought. You know, I had one of those little diary locks, don't ask me why, maybe come with a bag or something like that, but we locked it in there so that those guys couldn't get with it or fuck with it. Another one really quickly, this is about primary school, was I used to be the bell monitor, which means at a certain time I had to go ring the bell. And just before I went to ring the bell, one of my teachers was like, hold up, I've got to call up these guys, I need them to come to the office. And he called these two guys to the office, and then he forgot to switch off the microphone. He goes, yeah, you naughty fucks. And it broadcasted across the microphone. He had his back to it, so it wasn't loud, and no one actually heard what he said other than the guys in the office. But yeah, I later told some people what he said, and yeah, it became quite funny. Another one was in primary school, we had this relief teacher, and you know, each year every school has a school fair and shit like that. And this year our class was making caramel popcorn, and everybody was supposed to get a go. It was meant to be even, everybody got a go. Well, this absolute whore of a teacher, her name was Mrs. Bolter, and I will never ever forget that name. This whore, she had her favourite probably 4 to 8 people, and they were the only ones that got to make the caramel popcorn. We weren't allowed to taste it, we weren't allowed anywhere near it. She was just pretty much like, fuck off, go sit in the corner. She was an absolute whore of a teacher. We had her for 2 to 3 days, and yeah, it was just a nightmare. She was one of the worst relief teachers we ever had. I have another story about a relief teacher as well, but I don't have enough time to tell that story because that one's a fairly long one. What else have I got? We have this science teacher, and was Miss Nguyen. She was from South Africa. And one day, she's actually really, really hard to understand. So one day, me and David gave up trying to understand her. And so we were sitting there swinging on our chairs, just talking to each other. And we did not realise that she had stopped talking to the class, and she'd come over and stood behind us. And you know, we were still talking, laughing, joking, all that shit. She sticks her head in between me and David, who were both swinging on our chairs, and just yells out at the top of her lungs, "Would you two please be quiet?" Well, David falls forward, and I think he smacked his head on the table. Well, I fell off my chair backwards. And, like, yeah, she literally scared the absolute shit out of us. So, we learned our lesson there. Yeah, she just hated us because, yeah, no one could understand her. She talked really, really fast. And, yeah, she was just a pain to understand. But I'll keep that, I'll keep the story about the longer story about this teacher who sent this bloke out of class 9 times in a row. And also there's another one about a teacher sending David out for saying that Anne Frank's cat was eaten by Japs, but that's another story as well, so look for that in the next commentary. I'll be telling more stories. Anyway guys, I've been Trace and I'm out. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.